Welcome to part 3 of this series on music theory for non-music majors. This will be the last in the series, and as in the previous ones, I'd like to open with a scripture. This time it's going to be Psalms 95 verses 2 and 4, where it says, "Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving, and make a joyful noise unto him with psalms. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all the earth. Make a loud noise, and rejoice and sing praise." In this series, I'm going to discuss using the basic chord voicings shown in the table on the screen. Take some time to get acquainted with these chords because they will be used in the progressions that follow. Songs use triads, sevenths, and extended chord forms, but the foundation is the triad. Notice that the seventh chords contain either a major or a minor triad, with the triad played in the right hand. This allows you to begin to play two-handed chord voicings with either a single or doubled bass note or some other type of left-hand accompaniment while playing a triad in the right hand. You'll want to learn these chord forms in every key and use the number system to identify the combination of bass note and triad, because you'll find that these chords are used a lot in contemporary Christian music. You should also notice that for the 5 chord and the 7th chord that you have options of which type of chord can be played based upon what's occurring in the melody. In this section I'm going to cover 3 basic types of chord progressions. One is what I call a primary chord progression using the 1-4-1-5-1. Another is a scale-wise progression, either going up the scale or down the scale sequentially. And then another one is what I call the circle of fourths, which is based on the scale and the chords move in fourths within the scale. This progression moves from the 1 to the 4, back to the 1, to the 5, and then to the 1 again. It's a very basic progression. You'll find it used in old hymns, songs like Days of Elijah, 'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus, and there may be some slight variations to the chords, but the basic progression is the same. You see the chords laid out in a circle, starting with the 1, going sequentially through the 7th back to the 1. This is a 1-4-1-5-1 chord progression in the key of C. The 1 chord is an E minor triad with C in the bass. The 4 chord is an A minor triad with F in the bass. And the 5 chord is a G2, which is a G major triad with the 9th added. This example uses scale-wise progressions. There are 3 examples shown, but I'm going to use the 1-7-6-5-4-3-2, and you'll see that the chords are arranged on the circle, starting with the 1, going through the 7th back to the 1. And let's listen to how that chord progression would sound in its basic form. This is a 1-7-6-5-4-3-2-1 chord progression in the key of C major. The 1 chord is the C major, the 7 chord is a B minor 7 flat 5, the 6 is an A minor 7, the 5 is a G2, the 4 is an F major 7, the 3 is an E minor 7, the 2 is a D minor 7, and then you're back at 1. And the voicings used in these chords are shown in the basic chord voicing table at the beginning of this presentation. This example is a scale-based circle of fourths progression, meaning that the chords are arranged in fourths based on the scale, not on the key signature, which is what a typical scale of fourths and fifths is based on. In this example, I will first play the chord progression in its standard form, 1 through 7, and then I will add the change which makes the 7-3-6 chord progression by changing the key center from C major to A minor, and the 7-3-6 then becomes the 2-5-1 of the 6. In this progression, I will add a 3 chord between the 7 and the 6 to create the 7-3-6 progression. You are currently hearing the progression without the addition. Now I will add the 3 chord, the 7, the 3, and the 6. And the 3 chord in this progression is an E dominant 7 with a sharp 5 and a sharp 9. In this example, I will first play through the progression in its standard form, then I will play it through and play the 5-1-4, which also represents a change in the key center to F major, which then makes that progression a 2-5-1 of F major. In this progression, I will add a dominant 13th on the 1 chord and place it between the 5 chord and the 4 chord and make the 5 chord a minor triad, and that will create a 5-1-4 chord progression. Now you hear the 1, now the 7, now the 6, and here comes the 5-1-4. The 5-1-4. Essentially the 5 becomes a G minor and the 1 becomes a dominant 13th, which creates the focus on the 4 chord, which is F major 7. In this example, I will play through the basic scale-based chord progression. Then I will add the 2-5-1, which is a 2-5-1 of C major. In this progression, I will add a 5 chord between the 2 and the 1 at the end of the song, which will make a 2-5-1 progression. And in this case, the 5 chord will be a G2. We have our standard 1, our standard 7, B minor 7 flat 5, to a 6 chord, to a 5 chord, to a 4, to a 3. Now here comes the 2, 5, 1. In this example, I'll play through the scale-based circle of fourths chord progression. Then I will add in the 7-3-6, 5-1-4, and 2-5-1 together so that you can see how they sound when you add them all to a chord progression. In this progression, the 3 will be added, 1 dominant 7th will be added, and a 5 chord will be added between the 2 and the 1 at the end of the song to create the 7-3-6 and the 5-1-4 and the 2-5-1 combined. 7, 3, 6, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. This is a lot of material to try to cover in 3 short sessions, but there's a lot more information in the slides than I am able to include in the narrative because of the limitations of the time allowed for YouTube videos. However, in future sessions I will be actually going into songs and applying this theory to the songs so you can see how to use this to help you build and make chord progressions for music that you would want to play for a worship service. So I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to refer back to this material at any time, and God bless you.